What's going on guys, Games Good here, back with another video, and today I'm telling you another clown story. I'm sorry for not uploading for the last week. You didn't get those two videos you were meant to be getting on Saturday and Tuesday. But Happy New Year to everyone. The reason why I couldn't upload is because Saturday I wasn't at home, I was at my girlfriend's because it was her brother's birthday. And then Tuesday I couldn't because it's just confusing, but yeah, but this video is coming out on Saturday, so yeah, let's begin. One dark winter evening, I was rushing home from the school. I lived in the countryside and I had to go pretty far from the bus station. When I was walking home, I remembered that I had some candy left in my right pocket. I took it out and could see that it was a little red and white candy cane. For one particular reason, it reminded me that eerie clown from my friend's birthday party. Chills running down my spine. Although my dad told me that not to be afraid of clowns, there's no reason for me to be afraid now, I thought while I was walking home alone in total darkness. I tried not to think about the clown, but I couldn't forget him anymore because this clown was living somewhere in my town, but I didn't know where exactly. A random encounter with the clown was possible. Everyone said he was always wearing his clown outfit and never took it off. He also had a clown mask and no one knew who he really was. But most people liked the positive vibes of the cheerful clown, so people thought nothing of it, although he seemed a little bit weird at sometimes. Unlike everyone else, I despised that clown. He was so over the top that it made me sick. I was thinking about that particular reason why the candy cane had reminded me of him. I had taken it from the clown when we were celebrating my friend's birthday party, and I regret this action. What if he was still angry with me? What would he do to people that offended him? I once heard a strange rumour of a kid who had kicked him. The clown had visited this kid at night. He had been knocking on the window until the kid yelled out to his parents and they called the police. Once the police had arrived, the clown was already gone and no one really knew if it really had been him. Only the kid had seen him, but the kid's parents had barely heard the frightening knocking on the window. After this event, the kid started to spread rumours, but no one really believed such a crazy story, except me. I believed it for sure. My sixth sense started tingling. The kid was at home with his parents, but I wasn't. I was completely alone on this dark road. I started to walk faster and kept looking over my shoulder because I was certain someone was following me. Then I stopped and I looked around me, but no one was there. Suddenly, I heard the rustle of the old dry leaves. I stared in that direction until I saw that something was really moving there. I started to run. Then I looked back at the same spot, and to my relief, it was just an ordinary bird reaching for the sky. After this, I caught my breath and continued on my way home, but my nerves were on the edge. I unwrapped the candy cane and put it in my mouth. My hope was that it would calm me, but the candy cane was too sweet. It was too much, just as clowns are. I spat out the candy cane and inhaled the cold winter air. That helped more. The first house of my town started to appear in the distance. I could see a street lamp above the house, and it looked very eerie. As I walked under this lamp, it suddenly started to flicker, just as in horror movies. It made me jump and take a few steps back with a wide curve. I walked around this house until more buildings appeared. I came across some other houses which had two massive dogs laying outside. They were sleeping, but as I walked past the dogs, they suddenly woke up and ran to the fence while barking loudly. It scared me so much that I lost my balance and fell backwards. I sat there for a few seconds looking at the dogs, barking angrily at me. Then I regained my footing and shook it off. After that, I started to walk away from the dogs. A few steps later, I looked back at them and could see they were retreating into their sleeping position. Finally, I was able to see my house in the distance. Also, the street had been illuminating here, and this illogical fear left me and my thoughts. I could see the light in our window and figured that my dad was already home. The key to the front door was in my back pocket and I pulled it out while running to the entrance. I put the key in the keyhole and opened the crackling and screeching door. The smell of my sweet home reached my nostrils, but then I saw something which immediately made my fear come back. Strange shoes were left across the hallway. They were clown shoes. There was also something red, which looked like blood. I didn't know what to do. Should I run or stay and look for my dad? After pondering for a few seconds, I decided to look for my dad. I looked in the living room first and then in the kitchen, but they were empty. No dad. All the rooms upstairs were empty too. Then I suddenly remembered that we had an attic in which no one was allowed to go in. Usually it was locked with a big sturdy padlock, but this time the padlock that used to hang from the ceiling was laying on the floor and the door was wide open. Somehow I felt that my dad was up there. I overcame my fear and went through the door. The sight I saw was simply pure terror. There was a human head on the floor, blood flowing from the neck. In the candlelight I could see almost the whole attic floor was red from all the blood. It was thick, slippery, and I could smell the putrid metallic scent. You're probably thinking that this head was my dad's, but it wasn't. It was the head of the little kid who had spread the rumours about the clown. Further in the dark, I could see a silhouette. It was the clown. From the sounds I could hear, I understood that he was busy with splitting the rest of the kid's body. Cracking and popping off the bones and guts hitting the floor made me throw up. I was completely petrified out of fear and couldn't move. The killer clown noticed my arrival and turned around. He looked straight into my eyes. I couldn't move. I couldn't look away either. He still had his clown mask on, but something in his eyes seemed very familiar. He came closer and closer until he leaned over me and whispered in my ear, "I should have taught you earlier that you shouldn't be rude to clowns. They're human beings too. After all, I know that you still remember your friend's birthday party. Was that candy cane you stole from me good? I hope it was, because that might have been your last. Now I'm going to teach you a lesson of what happens to naughty kids, son." The clown took off his mask and I was looking at my dad's face. ... That has been me, Games Goody, over and out.